Welcome to the CrossFit Canada podcast. We're telling the stories of Canadian affiliate owners and coaches, with an exception today, as we did last week. But we are brought to you by Affiliate VA Services, where you can get a high quality admin assistant for your affiliate. And we, like I said, telling the stories of Canadian affiliate owners and coaches, but also taking on a bigger picture of solving U.S. relations,
Ooh,
Canada-U.S. relations.
there you go.
My guest today, Chase Ingraham. Now, you've changed your Instagram handle, but did it not used to be Captain America XFit?
Ooh, yes, it used to be Captain America XFit.
So who better to talk to than to but anyway,
International relations is my specialty. Is the once heralded CrossFit Captain America? Yes.
So we kick this thing off like a drop in the affiliate. Go ahead, introduce yourself, your affiliate, and like when this does air, it will be right during or right after the CrossFit Games. So yes, and I'd love to hear notable CrossFit Games event for you.
Okay.
Any of the past 18 years.
All right, that's a good. Okay, so Chase Ingraham. I am from Dallas, Texas, United States. I have been doing CrossFit since 2008 officially, and coached at an affiliate for 5 years back in Dallas as CrossFit Dallas Central back in the day. Had a brief stint of individual CrossFit Games accolades for about 18 months. and then people started to think, oh, I could probably do this better than him. And they are 100% correct. So that didn't last very long. I owned my own affiliates commercially for a decade. That was CrossFit Big D here in Dallas, Texas. And since then, about 2022, I now work full-time for CrossFit HQ. I'm the affiliate rep for the South Central United States. My commercial affiliate is now back to its grassroots. It is now in my garage, and it goes under the banner of CrossFit Avenger that I wasn't allowed to have 13 years ago, but now I do. And favorite games events.
Or a standout one. Yeah.
Which one?
I was just going to say, or a standout one.
Oh, standout one. All-time favorite, standout one, favorite games event, all of this encapsulated into one is push-pull from 2014.
Okay.
Josh Bridges trying to hold off Rich Froning in that final event, final heat. I was part of the broadcast team that year, but I was not broadcasting the individual competition. That was Sean Woodland and Bill Grundler, just the OGs that laid the path for everyone else behind them.
Yeah.
And fortunately for me, I had the best seat in the house because where we were in the tennis stadium in Carson, California, we were on usually it'd be like the finishing end of the tennis stadium if you're going lengthways. So we had box seats in the middle, and it wide open doors and I was just sitting on the edge of a countertop, just taking in the volume of the crowd and the immensity of the moment. And obviously everyone's seen the clip of Josh Bridges finishing and screaming into the crowd and Rich coming in, the ultimate bro hug on the level of a, Predator handshake. So that is my all-time favorite CrossFit Games event moment. It encapsulates everything. And those are good old days, man.
That's cool. I've asked this question a couple times, so those listening will hear multiple answers, and I want to keep it. Well, no, actually, I think it was 2013. The clean and jerk ladder just out in the
where they could start at 3 different lanes and they just
each
other. Yes.
And if you if you failed your first lift, you were immediately removed from the games.
Yeah.
But
yes. Back in the day, if you did not basically put a score on the board, you were out
for that one. But what was cool about that, like, and now they've gone to like snatch, like ladders are not gone by the wayside, but often speed ladders.
Right.
Just something cool about that. Lift, advance, lift, advance. And the time under tension would start to creep in, as opposed to now just getting your 3 attempts at a max.
Yeah. That was cool too, because all the bars were out there at the same time. All the lanes were out there. Everyone could start wherever they wanted to. and then people would just follow the leader. And I remember vividly, this is when Rich was losing to Jason Khalipa.
Okay.
But they were behind each other. I can't remember who was in front or who was behind. It might have been Rich in front because the leader would be going last. That's kind of the only thing that makes sense just off the top of my head. Yeah. And Jason had watched Rich hit the bar in front of him, knowing full well that he had to get that or he was not going to keep his first place position. So that was when everybody was introduced to Lucas Parker.
Well, and that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, the Tuke Luke, a Canadian. You got to see his setup.
The setup, the hip up and down, bobbing, and the yelling. And I was like, I was already a Lucas Parker fan from the previous year when he dropped trowel at the Camp Pendleton swim transition area in front of Clever. And then that followed up. I was like, all right, this guy's pretty cool.
And we've completely gone off where I want to go, but I want to roll with this because I mean, like, you would know. I don't know that there's ever been like classified as like waves of people who've done CrossFit, but you would call yourself that like OG, right? And
I'm reluctant to label myself that because I look to other OGs in the space as my OGs. So if people are behind me, I mean, I've realized I've been in the space going on 16 plus years now, maybe more. What is it? 2008, 2020, 17. So getting close to 17 years in the space. It's a long time to be in a particular space, but I looked up to the Chuck Carswells, the Todd Widmans, the Eric O'Connors, the Eric Prestons, all those guys that basically made me fall in love with CrossFit itself. CrossFit training, CrossFit methodology, wanting to be a red shirt because of those guys, specifically meeting Todd Widman for the first time. The aura around that man is second to none. And there's just a lot of inspiration behind that I would consider OG. So I know there's an OG brand tied to Bill and I from Get With The Program on our podcast. That is an homage to those that came before us. So if someone wants to call me that, fine. I will not select myself in that department.
Well, and so like, I guess like the root of my question though is going to lie in like the personalities. And, I started CrossFit in 2012 and I feel like that's maybe right where that tide started to shift.
Yeah. That would be the next generation of personalities, I think, coming into the space.
And like, but I was still on that cusp where like I fangirl over red shirts.
Yes.
Like, whether it was an aspiration thing, but to that point, like, oh, there's Chris McDonald. And like, I'm looking to see
who's McDonald. Yeah.
Right. But maybe now, like those who are in the affiliate are looking more towards the athletes. And it's not that's a wrong thing, but like, hey, it's a tough path to chase excellence in being an athlete, but it's super accessible to chase excellence as a coach.
That is a good point. And the disconnect, I think, stemmed from the games getting less accessible to the common man in terms of being jack of all trades. Because in the early days, our most competitive athletes were coaches in the affiliate who became owners of their own affiliates, who may have been a red shirt as well. I mean, you think of, Jason Khalipa was on staff, Chris Spieler was on staff forever. And a lot of these guys, Mike Giardina, all these old school OG guys were affiliate owners, coaches. They worked for CrossFit. They were level 1 red shirts. They did it all. And so from that 07 to maybe that 012 timeframe, because, Rich had his own affiliate. He was a red shirt for a short stint there. And then once the game started getting more popular, more people wanted to get in the space. And if you wanted to get better, you need to have more attention and focus to that specific thing, which was competing in CrossFit only. And those icons shifted. And so if you were rooted in the space from a coaching standpoint, from a general CrossFit methodology member standpoint, or as an affiliate owner, you knew full well who the best trainers in the world were. They were the level 1 red shirts, and they still are the level 1 red shirts. And that was something, if you were a coach or just wanted to be a part of something bigger, that is what drew people to CrossFit anyways. They wanted to be a part of CrossFit. Oh, what a better way to get into it even more is be on the seminar staff team.
Yeah.
And so we had those And then, yes, as the years went on, those same people were not the same people at the game. So not as many eyeballs were on them, and you didn't get to know their backstories or where other, roots they had dug into as far as the CrossFit ecosystem in general. So yeah, I think 2012 might be a tipping point. And then I'd say another one is probably that 17 to 18 range, when like Rich and Tia started coming online, and you made it even harder and harder to be a competitive athlete. And it's just grown from there.
So in your early days, where were you at when you did your cup of coffee in the CrossFit Games space, as well as owning an affiliate? Like, how did those two things, did they overlap, or?
Why did I join the gym, and then why did I decide to start coaching or own my own affiliate?
No, we'll work backwards to that. But I'm thinking, like, because you said you appeared at the CrossFit Games, correct?
Oh, the cup of coffee I had at the CrossFit Games. Yes.
Yeah.
That's about what it was, actually.
And then were you actively owning and managing your affiliate at that time, or was it a transitionary time?
So I qualified for the games. I first started CrossFit. I started CrossFit just to get a girlfriend, because I was young, single, and needed a life change for a variety of reasons. And I thought getting fit was probably the best place to start, seeing as how I didn't really have any other priorities in my life other than working and paying rent.
Yeah.
And after about a year, I found that I was pretty good at the group class workouts. I started, instead of getting beat by everybody, I started beating most people. And decided, it's like, hey, let's sign up for a competition and see where this goes. And won my first competition. Then 2010 rolls around, and that was the first year of sectionals. Sure. So sectionals was created because in 7, 8, 9, you had to qualify, but you could also pre-qualify based off previous performances in 7 and 8. 7 and 8, you could just register. You just sign up for the CrossFit Games.
Now you're at the games. Make the trip, you're there.
Exactly. If you can pay for a flight and you know where to find it, right? You can compete. 2009 had a different qualifying process. 2010, they tried to widen the net and had a sanctional competition. There's sanctionals all over the world, and then those would combine into the regionals, and then those regionals would send people to the CrossFit Games. I ended up competing. I ended up qualifying for the games in 2010. And you're right about the cup of coffee, because in 2010, I competed in 3 events. And then I got cut immediately. Okay. The first cuts came around. So I did Amanda, I did Pyramid Helen, the shouldered overhead from behind the neck right after Pyramid Helen. And then this deadlift pistol double under workout that was just the bane of my existence, was 315-pound deadlifts, and it started that weekend. Yeah. And that was pretty much the rest of my career, defined by that movement at that weight for forever. So that's where that happened. At the time, though, I just got into coaching.
Okay.
I started at the gym. I was a mechanical engineer for years. The eventual plan was actually I wanted to get into the FBI. I had a buddy I met at the gym. He was in the FBI. Dallas has a major headquarters for the FBI here. So that's where my path I thought was going to go. And then met a girl playing flag football randomly on a Tuesday in Dallas, and realized that she was in law school. She had just started. She had her home life. I had no life plan. I was just everywhere.
Winging it.
Someone would argue I'm still the same person when it comes to, what are you doing tomorrow? I was like, I don't know. Let's just worry about today. She had it all figured out. And she's like, well, what's your plan? It's like, well, I think I want to do the FBI. And she's like, what does that look like? I was like, I think I have to go away for 6 months in training, and then I'm like 2 years in Chicago, and then maybe I can come back to Dallas. She's like, I don't want to do that. Like I'm doing law school. I've got goals and aspirations that are not tied to this random boy that I just met. I was like, well, you're in luck, because I like you more than I like the FBI. So I'm just going to start coaching CrossFit, and then one day I'll open up my CrossFit gym. So in 2010, I was just a coach. Yeah. I was just a coach in the gym, training, helping program and pick games athletes and games teams out of our own gym. Our gym had a lot of success early on when I was there. I didn't open up my own affiliate until 2013.
Okay.
So at that 2010 time, which is when I made the games, the only time I made the games for a day and a half, there's a lot of, that was when things were growing very rapidly in the affiliate space. So the gym I was at was one of the very first ones in Dallas, and the coaches that were there before me at that time all started breaking off to open up their own gym, which they should. If they get inspired to do that, that's kind of what we want, really, as owners.
Yeah, and it doesn't happen anymore, and we can talk about that.
It doesn't happen anymore. And back then, depending on the gym you were at and the owners that were in charge, it was either something to celebrate or something that they really hated. And that could do with like how they left, where they moved to, who they took with them. Not, that wasn't part of me. I was just a coach.
It was just the sign of the times.
I was just there, right? Everyone was growing rapidly. We didn't know how to navigate those waters at the time. And in my head, I thought, okay, this girl has this plan. I'm going to stick around with her. I should probably have a plan myself. So the plan was, hey, let's learn everything I can learn while coaching at this gym, top to bottom, from washing, cleaning the bathrooms to owning the gym, and everything in between. And I'm going to spend a long time learning this, and rooting myself in this community, doing everything I can to help build this gym for these people that gave me this amazing opportunity that was CrossFit. And then one day I'll open up my own gym. But I'm going to do it in appropriate time, and I'll do it the appropriate way. So that's what I sat there for about 4+ years doing that, until I felt I was ready to move and do my own thing. So it wasn't until 2013 where I opened up my affiliate myself.
What was the signal for you that you felt ready?
There was no signal. There was more, I liken it to like hermit crabs.
Sure.
But hermit crabs grow forever, and they get shells, and then they have to leave the shell and find a bigger shell. That's kind of where I was at. There were 2 owners when I first got there. They picked up a third about 2 years into that. I really had no place to go. I had nowhere else to grow. And if I were to do that in the gym, it would cause friction, because people would have to move out of certain positions they've been in for a while, or I would have to sit in a position that I felt like wasn't meeting my personal needs and what I wanted to do professionally in the CrossFit space. So once I reached that moment, the owners and we all sat down together. We had our growing pains, right? We had a little push pull, and realized that, hey, the reason why we're having some of this friction is because this is something I want to do. It's not going to happen here. You guys wanted me here for the long haul because I felt like I was a good worker and I was an asset to the community and the business. But where we wanted things to be, it just wasn't fitting with our goals long term. So we just came to a decision together at once. It's like, hey, listen, I'm not saying you guys suck. I'm just saying I want to do more. I want to do things the way that I would like to do them.
Yeah.
Because if this is something I want to do forever, I want to go the entrepreneurial route and open up a CrossFit affiliate and just be in charge of my own destiny.
Why do you think that is less prevalent now? And I mean, I know the answer, but like, it's because it's not happening the way it used to. And so it's a changing, what insight do you?
There's a lot of reasons why it's less prevalent now. It was way easier back in the day for a lot of reasons to open up a CrossFit gym.
Sure.
In 2000, let's just say that 2010 to 2013 range between when I realized what I wanted to do and then when I finally pulled the trigger on doing it.
Yeah.
You needed maybe $500. You're level 1. Rent was cheap. CrossFit was the only fitness thing in the space that was different than what we were all used to, which was the Globo Gym. The games were just skyrocketing to the moon because Reebok just came in 2011 and infused all this info. Like everything was just rocket ship, and they were the only rocket ship. And it was a lot easier to do things like that just from a financial standpoint, honestly.
Yeah.
And then now there's a higher barrier of entry. The affiliate fee is now $4,500. There's an application fee. You don't need your level 2 right away. It's still the level 1, but within a year, you need your level 2. I mean, compare rents in 2025 to what they were in 2010. You could find a warehouse just outside of downtown or next to a college for pennies because nobody wanted that space. It was unusable space, just a burden on the landlords. Like, oh, you want to come in and just like rent this space out to do whatever? Like, yeah, great. Now, warehouse space is one of the highest growing, I would say, sought after commercial real estate spaces in the country, at least in the United States.
Sure.
And a big attribute reason for that was COVID.
Right.
Because everyone got locked out, everyone got locked down. So a lot of businesses pivoted to online sales. The brick and mortar front facing businesses started to close. They realized they could do the same amount of business online depending on what their business and services were. And so all they needed was a place to store inventory.
Sure.
Well, that was all the empty warehouse space that nobody wanted because everybody had brick and mortar front facing businesses. So that moment in time in 2020 reshaped the landscape in so many different ways that I think goes unnoticed. Everybody, was focused on the front facing things at the time, which was the same for everybody. And it had little to do, like nobody was thinking real estate. And so there's just so many hurdles right now. And what that does is it doesn't mean you can't run a successful gym. You can't have a successful business because that's what an affiliate is. It is a small business. You are an entrepreneur. You are opening up a small business. You should have as much respect to that as you were to open up a restaurant or a tire shop, whatever it is, right? A candle store.
Yeah.
The problem is it's harder for everybody to do that. So it forces people where back in the day, they could just wing it. It could be a passion project. You had a lot of runway. You had a lot of time to build up things because everything cost, a tenth of what they do now.
Or you could just use a shipping container in a parking lot.
Exactly, right? The old San Francisco CrossFit back in the day. Yeah. And eventually they did have to move into something different, and now they're not even a gym anymore. So it's just different, and it requires a different approach to affiliate ownership, but it doesn't mean you can't be as successful or more successful in the long term.
Well, and there's a certain irony of juxtaposition there where it was so much easier, as you're saying, to open it up then, but there was zero resources available.
Right. True.
Right. And so now it's like, yes. And you actually, we talked before we hit record, we spoke with Craig Howard last, and he said he actually most recently searched for how many emails he got from CrossFit HQ from 2007 to 2014. And he said it was zero.
Right.
But
unless it was like, hey, your affiliate fees due.
And that's, exactly. You owe us money. But there are, between the affiliate starter kit, the affiliate playbook, and then now most recently released, as we're recording this quite literally yesterday, Daniel Chaffee's giving all his secrets to. So I wonder about, is it just going to create a new wave of affiliate owners who are geared towards being professional right from the start, or should be?
I would say the should be is a more accurate statement because it's necessary. Whereas 10, 15 years ago, you could learn as you go. Yeah. Or you could, again, the old passion project worked back then. Like I knew an affiliate owner that had checks of his members just laying on the ground in the office. Like, have you cashed these? He's like, nah, I'll get to it. I was like, these are like a couple months old.
Yeah.
And it was just different because, you get even getting $1 per square foot was high back in 2010. Right. And so a lot of CrossFit's position now, especially in the affiliate department, is, and me being a part of that department now, is our job is to try to set new owners up in the best way possible so that they don't have to learn the hard lessons all of us have learned over the last 10 years.
Yeah.
There's trial and error all the time. And there's so many of us that have made these errors, either not understanding what it takes to be an actual business owner, because a business owner is different than a gym owner.
For sure.
Because people is like, oh, I'm going to open up a CrossFit gym. And if I just coach really hard and program really well and make everybody happy, we're going to make a lot of money, because that's success. That is community success, right? That is culture success. That is what we define as CrossFit success. You're a great coach. You got great programming. Everybody's getting fitter. Everybody's happier.
But
What
at
does your
$120
bank
a
account look
month,
like?
unlimited, that's
Exactly. How do you support the thing that you're the best at? Because we have the best trainers in the world. We have the best methodology on the planet. There's a reason why everybody copies what we do and try to pretend like they're better than CrossFit or the same as, and they're not.
Yeah.
I'm glad there's something out there. Great. Right. But there's a reason why we've defined fitness, and everybody wants to be like us, but they want to change all the hard things so they just look different and cooler. Right. And so we're great at that. What we need to be better at, so that we can continue to be great at the things that we're the best at, is to be better business owners. And in the CrossFit affiliate model, that can only go so far as to provide more information on how to actually run a small business. What's the financing thing looks like? How do you manage your books? The importance of taxes. How do you market yourself to a community wherever you're located? How do you find new coaches? How do you there's so many things on the business side that none of us really knew were that important. Social media all of a sudden became a huge tool. And it wasn't like, take a picture, here we are. It's like, those things need to have intent, direction, and effectiveness to promote who you guys are. And all of those things have been built out, provided from CrossFit. The only thing that we can't do is mandate that this is what people do, because that's a franchise, or do it for them. Which what I feel like a lot of frustrated owners want is, great, all of these tools, but like, I need you to do this for me, or do this for us, or why aren't you doing more? Is like, because that is not the model of which we have designed. That is a franchise model. And our model is $4,500 a year. You look at like an Orange Theory, and you need a couple $1 million in assets to even open up one. Like, yeah, I would hope you would find my location and give me management services for that type of back-end support. So it's just it's the evolution of what needs to happen for everything to get better, along with CrossFit just doing a better job of building up the brand, which is, I think, is the most vital thing that CrossFit HQ can do for the affiliates. You can develop all these products, you can give them all these services, you can provide reps like myself, playbook starter kit, the new educational thing, program that's coming out. All of these things are great. But at the end of the day, those are perks. Those are offerings. That shouldn't be what we hang our hat on, is what you pay for as an affiliate owner.
Right.
We pay for the same thing we did when we opened up gyms 15, 20 years ago. We wanted to be a part of the brand. Now, what we need to make sure that we do is focus on what that brand is, what that brand stands for, what that brand means to us, and what it means to other people. And that's where I think the new frontier of CrossFit can refocus its attention on to help affiliate owners the most.
Well, let me let me ask you this then, because that gets me fired up. But as you said, like, everyone wanted to be a part of this thing called CrossFit.
Mm-hmm.
But now I feel like everyone wants to do this thing called CrossFit, but there's this growing faction of folks who don't want to be a part of the things at CrossFit. And I completely agree. Like, yes, provide value, just like your members, like, provide value to your members, but there is a certain inherent responsibility that we as affiliate owners have to be the boots on the ground.
Yes. And some owners would say that's an unfair burden for affiliate owners to carry the CrossFit flag. But that's exactly what the model is. What affiliate owners need to make sure that CrossFit's doing is to make sure that that flag carries weight, that that flag means something. And so the message behind the name, which is the reason why people become an affiliate and put the name on their door, that has to be the most weighted thing for an affiliate owner to be a part of.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what it was, like you said, that's what it was all but maybe 3 years ago. I think in 2021, 22 is maybe when the playbook came out. And that was the first thing CrossFit made to give to affiliate owners about how to, or best practices at least, on how to run a CrossFit gym or how to open up a CrossFit gym. It's 160 something pages worth of everything in between, from opening to scheduling to creating lesson plans. It's massively in depth. Prior to that, affiliate owners were promised nothing from CrossFit other than, we will make sure the CrossFit brand is strong. That's not on you. That's on us. We will also make sure that nobody infringes on the CrossFit brand from a legal standpoint or a political standpoint or any other reason that's going to mess with our owners. And we will support that. And we'll entertain you with the CrossFit Games. And we'll make sure that that's a fun gift to the community to celebrate who we are and what we like to do, which is just to be competitive, not to compete.
Right.
It's to be competitive, because you can't be a part of CrossFit and not have a small sense of competition in you. And that means internally for yourself. If you're just like, I'm not a competitive person, I'm like, then I was like, yes, you are. Because you're here, you do want to go faster. You do want to lift more weights, which means you're not content with the person you are and you want to be someone better. And that requires some small sense of competitive. It's just in our nature.
Yeah.
And so to make sure that we do that as HQ, along with all the things that are now provided from CrossFit, which I think are great things, but that's not what we should be hanging our hat on, is the reason why you should be an affiliate. The reason why you should open an affiliate is because you love CrossFit. You believe in what they do. CrossFit stands for something more than just a fitness program. And that is a movement, and that is something that you want to be a part of. We need to make sure is that thing, that name CrossFit, also draws people in from the just general worldwide community that they want to be a part of too. I like, most people didn't join a CrossFit gym because they wanted to like walk hand in hand with Greg Glassman. You know who that is? Most people thought Dave Castro created CrossFit.
Right.
And it was kind of part of the problem back in 2018, 2019, but we can skip past that. But nobody signed up to do like to your local CrossFit gym because of what Greg stood for.
Yeah.
Or the methodology. They were just inspired by what CrossFit did, well beyond what you look like with your shirt off.
Well, and the thing is like that hasn't changed. You know, when you look at these time frames, right, and you start naming, like, especially between like 2018 to 2024, holy shit, there's been a ton of change.
Slight chaos.
Yeah, you know, like, and but the stuff that happens in here hasn't changed once. And it's like we're getting distracted by the wrong thing, where the novice's curse is plaguing us as a thing.
And I can't attribute it to one specific thing.
Of course.
But I would say in general, when something like this happens, where a dilution of the methodology or the product or what people think it is usually stems from not having a clear vision and picture of where we're all getting our information from. And it does feel like we're all over the place. We're a little tribal against our own tribe.
Yeah.
In the sense we have these micro factions of like, oh no, this is what CrossFit is. Or, I mean, it's crazy to see people in comment section when we talk about like our eat meats, vegetables, nuts and seeds, some fruit, little sugar, or sorry, no sugar, little starch, no sugar.
Yeah.
And freak out about no sugar. Like that.
Well, and then they
it's crazy.
And then like, it should not be no sugar. Like, but I guess where my brain starts going is like bending to the will of others,
Mhm.
which causes you to break. And what I mean by that is like, say like, no, it should be some sugar. It's like, well, no, but in our methodology, it should be. But I think of the member, or excuse me, the member who says to the owner, like, oh man, these hero workouts are incredible. We should do these 45-minute grinds
Yeah.
every day. Right. And then so the
Yeah.
affiliate owner, like maybe not having a vision down the road, or not having picked up their level 1 as much as they should, says, oh, well, Johnny, Sarah, and Susie keep saying how much they love these workouts. I'm going to program more of them.
Right.
Now we get into strength plus Metcon. And then when you have a series of unfortunate events, most importantly, like the tragedy last year, and we don't get into that, but then you have members saying to the owner, like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to boycott, because they get their information from somewhere on social media.
Right.
It's up to the affiliate owner to hold the line. And I know it's hard to do, like, but you got to hold that line to say, like, that's fine, but listen, that's not what we are in here.
Right. But even more so is that it's not on the affiliate owner to draw the line. And I believe what we have lacked is CrossFit drawing the line for the affiliate owners to hold.
Okay.
That I believe has been missed over the last couple of years, which is not the affiliate owner's fault, which I think is at the end of the day where you could have a group of affiliate owners that are frustrated and they ask, what do I get for my $4,500 a year?
Yeah.
Which is the most annoying question in the world. But I get it.
Sure.
Right? Before, no one really asked that. I mean, some people did. It's like, oh, what am I paying $3,000 a year for? What am I paying 2? What am I paying 1? What am I paying 5? That was always a question.
Yeah.
But we knew we were a part of this thing. We're on this train where it was going. And so when it goes to that dilution of the message, right?
Dilution, like it's being diluted.
Yeah. Is that a word? Is dilution a word? Okay.
It must be.
I'm not the best with like words, which I'm probably in the wrong profession if that's the case, but I don't know. I was more of a numbers guy. Like I said, I used to be an engineer, but when that happens, I can't blame the owners for trying to do everything they can to appease as many as they can to not lose what's around them.
Sure.
Old school CrossFit is like, hey, this is where we're going. This is what we're doing. If you don't want to be a part of it, see ya. This is the truth. This is who we are. We are forging elite fitness. It was those 3 words are so perfect after what we were chasing after and who we were. This is how you get fit. This is the only way. You can get in shape, but if you want elite fitness, it is no sugar.
Mm-hmm.
And no, we're not talking about elite athleticism. Oh, if I'm doing these Ironmans, then I need to restore my glucose levels. Like, I'm not talking about that.
Right.
We're talking about changing the world in terms of chronic disease. That was the whole point. No sugar will get you there. We promise, and it'll get you there faster. The same reason why working out 5 times a week from a 3-on-1 off, 2-on-1 off, or 3-on-1 off, like the old .com was, for an hour, and working within your physical and psychological tolerances when it comes to intensity. All of these things. This is the way. This is the path. This works.
Yeah.
No, nobody does. I don't do no sugar. And even in the level 1, if you listened or took your level 1, we even tell you this is the perfect prescription for elite fitness. This is unrealistic. There are a few psychos out there that might do this to the letter forever, and I'm sure they look amazing. However, if it's my son's birthday party, I'm going to have some cake. If I'm out on a date with my wife, I'm going to have some wine, and I'm going to have some dessert and maybe stay up too late. I'm going to live my life to the fullest, but I'm going to make sure that I support my life the best I can by training as much as I can in the best way possible, in the smartest way that's dictated to me through CrossFit's methodology.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to eat as good as I can when I have the opportunities to or I want to. We're not saying do this or get out. We're just saying this is the way. Mm-hmm. Now find the best path for you. And just everyone's so on the outside throwing rocks and they have no idea what they're talking about.
Yeah. Well, and exactly, like it's exactly like that's not what that is,
No.
or like yeah. But so talking about back to again being a part of something, because then most recently, this from the Open this year on, one thing I have noticed is there's a still slight divide, but those who have gone all in on not like on the CrossFit, the affiliate, the magic, and promoting it and putting the positive energy into it, I'm seeing a tremendous positive return. And in the largest sense, I see that in what Froning and Mayhem have been doing for the
Yes.
brand. This, right? Like, so you have a guy, and you just look at like a guy who has stood up and is like, we're going, it's actually ironically Into the Storm, his shirt. I have it in my little closet here, but they said we as Mayhem are going into the storm because that's the fastest way, and that's through it. And look at what it's doing for them.
Right. I cannot applaud what Rich and CrossFit Mayhem has done, especially this year of all years.
Yeah.
For CrossFit as a whole. I can't think of someone any recently that has been a better ambassador of that. And how cool is it? It's just a guy that came onto the scene in 2010 that nobody knew, that almost won the CrossFit Games, that most people didn't want to win the CrossFit Games at the time. Like, who's this guy with his spiky hair and big chest? How dare you just walk in here and
sunglasses and headband?
Yeah. Just walk in here and like beat the crap out of our heroes as if like they were standing still. And I remember watching him on the rope and him coming down. I'm like, good. I might have been a bitter competitor that got cut 2.5 days prior and be like, well, if I was out there, I could climb the rope. So I had my bitter Rich moment. But now I'm just I'm a huge fan of Rich. I'm a huge fan of everything he does. Him being a CrossFit athlete is at the bottom of the totem pole of what I think about Rich Froning and everything that he's built and what he's done, what he's meant to CrossFit for 15 plus years now. And yeah, I get not everybody has the resources that Rich has built for himself over these years. It's a lot easier to own some place in Cookville than it is in New York City. It's all shapes and sizes. However, the reason behind what he does should be the same for everybody. The desire to do more beyond your walls, to improve things around you versus keep asking for things from someone or someone else, or, give me this.
Yeah.
There are a few things that CrossFit should actually be giving people, which we've mentioned multiple times on the show already. But the reason why we signed up for this, to be a part of this, is to give back. The things that CrossFit has given me are well outside the walls of a CrossFit gym or my garage.
Mm-hmm.
CrossFit has given me, the girl I was talking about dating is my wife.
Wow.
We have 2 beautiful, healthy children. And everything, like, we wouldn't be talking on a like, you would have never, I would never be on this podcast or any podcast if it weren't for walking into a CrossFit gym in 2008.
Right.
Because I wanted abs and a girlfriend. And all the things that it's given me, it gave me a career. It gave me coaching opportunities. It gave me the opportunity to be a small business owner. I got to be on seminar staff. I got to be on the broadcast team. I got to compete very briefly. But most importantly is that all of that's great, but I met my wife on the flag football team that my gym put together. I didn't join the FBI because I thought she was the one, and the gym let me coach more so that I could pay rent. The reason why I stayed at that gym from 2008 to 2013 instead of jumping ship when I was at my peak popularity.
Yeah.
I felt I owed them more of my attention and service and debt because of the things that I had at that time. Because by 2012, right, like I had a great relationship and it was steadily growing. And then by 2013, That's when I opened up my own gym. That's when I proposed. We got married the next year and had kids 5 years. Like, that's why I stuck around so long. And that's why I stick around for CrossFit. CrossFit is not perfect. CrossFit can get infinitely better from where it is now. And that's a great place to start from where we're at, because we're not in a bad spot. We're just not where we want to be. And I think everybody can sit back and objectively realize we don't want to just be where we're at. And where we're at's a tough time for a variety of reasons.
Yeah.
But where we're at is a great place to start getting back to where we want to be. And I want to be there for the long haul in whatever capacity that looks like. I probably won't broadcast the CrossFit Games for the rest of my life, even though I want to. There's a lot of people that are watching on TV that thought they would be that guy or be a part of that. Nothing lasts forever, but wherever that path takes me, right? I was on seminar staff. I'm not on seminar staff anymore. I want to spend the weekends with my family and kids. I don't own a CrossFit gym anymore because now I work for CrossFit. So I can do more for more affiliates versus more people in my affiliate. Yeah. Things evolve and things change. But the one thing that won't change for me until they rip me out of this is that I will be a part of this for as long as I can in whatever capacity possible to make sure we get to where we want to be. And the cool thing about CrossFit, even in your own fitness journey, there is no end game.
Yeah.
CrossFit is the Tetris of fitness. I guess technically you can beat Tetris.
Gets faster and harder.
There is someone, I think 2 people have beat Tetris. Most of us don't get there. For me, when my Tetris fitness is over, I'm dead. That's the end goal. I've maximized everything I could. I've tried to pay my life debt to CrossFit because of the life that I currently have. And that's how I approach things. Now, that's a different scenario for me than other people, right? It's not a one-to-one. Oh, well, like you work for CrossFit, you get paid by CrossFit. I was like, yes, I do. This is where I want to be. I could quit anytime. I don't want it.
But you say that CrossFit isn't perfect, and we say CrossFit as an organization, and I wouldn't argue that. But I guess what I would say is, like, I feel like there's still a bunch of people sitting there with their arms crossed, waiting for them to get perfect. And then they say, once you guys get it perfect, I'll start going to work.
True.
But what CrossFit has, what do we get for your affiliation fee? What CrossFit has always given everyone from day one is the tools to have a positive impact for the people in their community. Mm-hmm. That has always been there. It always will be. And then, going back to the beginning of like the red shirts, like that transmission of, we've hosted 2 level 1s and 2 level 2s at my affiliate. And that transmission of culture has not changed.
Yeah.
That, like, these people are the coolest, most charismatic people in the world. Man. Like that has still not changed. Mm-hmm. And more people, and like the people who have been there, they know it, and that still hasn't changed.
Yes.
And they should be telling their people about it more.
Yes. You don't have to do the level 1 because you want to coach. No. The level 1 is not about coaching CrossFit. Very little of it. You have to have your level 1 certificate to coach CrossFit. That's right. But the level 2 is what teaches you how to coach CrossFit. That's like all the level 2 is about. The level 1 is teaching you what CrossFit is, who we are, what we're about, why we came to be, and what we're going to do forever. Mm-hmm. That's CrossFit. And so when I had the luxury of my affiliate and we would host an affiliate, we'd get like a free level 1 spot. Yeah. I had all the coaches I needed. So I'd either reach out to other affiliate owners that needed one. Hey, I wanted to coach. Great. Here, we have one. Or, which is even more fun, I would just give it to random members that just wanted to know more about it.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, I was like, guys, because if I couldn't give it to another affiliate owner locally, I would just email my community. It's like, does anybody want to take the level 1 this weekend for free? And it was so cool. And what happened every time, though, every time they'd show up on Monday, like, hey, listen, would you mind if maybe I took a class off your schedule?
Yeah.
Every time. It didn't matter who it was. It could have been, we had this wonderful couple, John and Moj. They started with us almost right when we opened the CrossFit gym. They had 3 sons that went through our gym as well. I would say collectively, they lost as a family 200 plus pounds.
Wow.
As a family.
Yeah.
And I sent them to a level 1 together. And they're like in their 70s. And the guy's like, if you ever need help on a weekend, we would love to coach. I was like, that's it. That's right, John and Moj. Right.
Yeah.
Now, that was a luxury that I got to have. I got to host seminars. It wasn't all the time, but
Sure.
it's really hard to get into that pool just because there's thousands of gyms in that, and they don't happen every weekend in every city in the world. So I realized that was a luxury, but giving it to the community was really cool. But you're right, that transfer of culture from, think about it. Who learns what CrossFit is? It's from the red shirts.
That's right.
They're the most important. They're the most important people in our space.
And even as you said, it's a weekend. More importantly, I always think it's a weekend where we're going to define our terms.
Mm-hmm.
And from now on, you have the tools that if someone wants to talk about these things with you, you have a little subside toolkit to say, are we talking about the same thing?
Right.
And that's because then you'll find out if we run everything through that filter, it's like, oh, but we're not talking about the same thing. And you're trying to pull me away from, you're trying to move my salt shaker away.
Yes.
But that's not the kernel. And you, when you run it through that filter, you start to see, maybe it is them and not us.
Right. When I, describe CrossFit, like that's HQ.
Of course.
Should I probably just say HQ? I work for HQ. I'm a part of that.
Yeah.
But CrossFit hasn't changed.
Right.
It's still now people's interpretation of it may change. What they want it to be versus what it is, that changes.
Yeah.
And what we need to make sure of is that we don't change, as you said, we don't move the salt shaker, we don't move the goalposts, we don't lower the standards. This is what it is. Old school CrossFit was, this is what it is. F off if you don't want to be a part of it.
Yeah.
That's fine, right? What we don't need to be is, we don't need to be everybody's best friend. We don't need to appeal to everybody's personal feelings about what this is, because that's not what it is. CrossFit's like math, right? Math is like 2 + 2 is 4.
Yeah.
That's it. The CrossFit's training methodology, that it doesn't change. Now, the way you implement that can be unique to you, right? The way you go about, like, well, I prefer stack division versus long division. Fine, but we're getting the same answer at the end of the day. The process may be different, but at the end of the day, those standards need to be upheld, and that is the path forward. If you don't want to do that, you can do something else, but don't you dare call it CrossFit, because it's not. There's only one CrossFit, and there will only be one CrossFit, and that's the CrossFit that I want to be a part of.
Or don't try to say that it doesn't work or that it's this or that. Like, it's probably, there's always these people that, like, I always, like, when you talk about progressions, like, here's your bus stop, this is where you get off in your progression. But I always feel like there's people in their CrossFit journey where they're like naysayers, but also let's look at when you got off the bus.
Well, the best one is athlete naysayers recently. Sure. This low intensity thing I saw pop up is like, CrossFit broke my body. It's like, no, you broke your body because you did everything we told you not to do in CrossFit. It's like, all right. Constantly varied functional movements at high intensity. Intensity relative to your physical and psychological tolerances, and then our nutrition.
That's
right? 1 hour a day at most. Short, long, heavy every once in a while, long every once in a while. That's it. Not 6 to 8 hours worth of 6 to 8 hours worth of training a day beyond your physical and psychological tolerances. Eat in a manner that supports, here's the thing, eat in a manner that supports exercise,
but not
body fat, which is the total opposite of what our nutrition doctrine is. And you've specialized something that was not.
Right.
And for people to look at that and say that's what CrossFit is, that's a problem. Like
Yeah.
the games in CrossFit are not the same.
No,
They're
and
two
I mean,
different universes. I love the games.
sure.
They're fun. It is cool to see what people are capable of now. But
Yeah.
that is not CrossFit. It is a application. It's a display of what's possible at peak human performance. But that's not what CrossFit is.
Well, and even it's still in the scripture in the next book, being the level 2 guide, like, oh, maybe you should stay on your heels as you squat. Maybe you should move your hips first. Oh, you have bad shoulders. Do you read about the part about an active shoulder where it's pure, like we've defined these things. You just didn't choose to read it. So don't say that it's not. And
or you didn't want to do it. Therefore, you changed the way you prescribed it and interpret it.
But then funny enough, like back to Froning, like I would, and honest, like is like as an opinion of yours, have you seen anyone move better in 15, 18 years more than Rich Froning?
Better? No.
Right.
I've always said this is that the last thing I ever want to be in CrossFit is a judge.
Right.
But if I had to be a judge, please let me judge Rich Froning.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, we've had a lot of beautiful movers in the space, but no one moves better effortlessly. That's the other problem too. Is like, oh, it looks so easy. I'm like, yeah. So does butterfly at the Olympics. It looks really easy.
Yeah, why are you so fit, so good looking, and move so well?
Yeah.
Why does it look so easy?
I don't know. Maybe that's why God's taking his hair. It's like we got to take something, bro. You can't have it all.
Yeah. But then I think of Jeff Adler most recently, James Sprague winning last year, but Jeff Adler, he still does classes at CrossFit Wonderland in Montreal with his level 4. I don't know where they are in their relationship, partner, coach.
Yeah. Yes. Partner. We'll say partnership. That covers,
that's
right. Covers all vernaculars depending on which country you're in.
That's right.
And yeah, Jeff is great because Jeff is a prodigy of what it was like to grow up in those times, as you were talking about.
Yeah, volunteer.
A kid who wanted to be a volunteer and was a volunteer, and then he started to get on the scene, and then he does the .com workout of the day. He did the zone, and yeah, he trains a lot more now because he shifted from fitness to sport.
Yeah,
which is a different world. But the way he grew up in that, it was a steady trajectory, which is why his success has been so almost linear. And his longevity, because I felt like he took the time to do it well. I won't say the right way. And he's reaping the benefits of that.
And I mean, I guess that is like, if you talk about the program, like if you do the program well, it will always work. I think even myself, like I'm kind of a lot like you. My nutrition, like sometimes the wheels fall off and I can tell, and like, hey, I got to put the wheels back on. I'm responsible for that. But then it's like, wow, and then the program works again. And, since starting this little project, I spoke to a coach named Sam from Ottawa. I don't know if you know Paul Tremblay quite well, but
I know Paul very well. I love Paul.
So he's one of Paul's coaches. His name's Sam. Before he even started coaching at NCR, he read in the level 1 guide that you should train your friends and family for 250 hours before doing anything. So guess what he did? He went by the book. The answers are in the test, and he recruited his friends and family and has trained his parents, twice a week for 250 hours before actually starting his, right. And
dang.
And this is in 2020. This wasn't way back when.
Yeah.
This is recent, right? So I'm hopeful because the thing will and always work. So as we wrap this up, what are you hopeful about?
My hope is that I've had this conversation, at a few affiliate gatherings in my area. So I am repeating myself for those people,
but not just the tens of people listening. I don't know how many are in that area.
So what CrossFit has been since its inception, since the affiliate started up until now, the last 3 to 5 years have been very tough.
Sure.
And there is a certain point where affiliates were being supported by HQ in a manner that made it really easy to have success if you're willing to work for it, just like everything else. Being a successful affiliate owner requires work. Being a fit person also requires work. It doesn't just happen because you want it to. And my hope is that we have we're basically halfway through 2025. From 2025 starting, I realized it started on a rough foot. You talked about what happened at the games, a lot of things that happened in CrossFit, all, from top to bottom, not just sport. This is a year that I hope people take a step back and realize, like I believe Rich has with Mayhem as one example, that you can't just sit back and wait for CrossFit to help you and do something. Should they? And by CrossFit, I mean HQ. Should they? Yes. However, if we're willing to take a moment and realize that maybe the best thing for HQ and in turn CrossFit is that instead of us all sitting on our hands or pointing fingers or with our arms crossed, we get off our ass and we help make things better on our own. I look at HQ as like a parent who's been there for you forever. Now they're getting to an age where they stumble and fall. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to sit there as a son, but get up. I need help. It's like, listen, I'm at a point now. It's like, listen, stumbled and fall. I'm going to pick you back up. What an amazing feeling it could be going into 2026, where all of these people that have been waiting or holding their hands out decide to get up and actually lift up the one thing that have given them so much over the last 2+ decades, and to get it back on its feet. How good would it feel when CrossFit gets back on the track that we know it can be and that we want it to be? If we all did that together, how good would that feel? And that's what my hope is. Is that fair? I'm not really worried about fair. I don't even like the word. It's like the word deserve. But man, it would feel really damn good to just get back to what we want it to be, but do the work to get there, not expect someone else to do it for us. Like a Rich, like a Mayhem, like so many others that are in the space that might not have the platform that Rich does, to just instead of complain, get to work, get things back to good as a collective community, which we talk about all the time, the CrossFit community. Well, then let's collectively act like one, not with your own personal agenda, right? But what we know CrossFit truly is defined by the level 1, which made us who we are to begin with. Focus on that. Pick mom and dad back up. And in 2026, we got 6 months to get there. I think we can. I believe we can. And if we do it together, I think that could be the greatest thing we've had for CrossFit for 20 years. That's my hope.
Yeah. We have a unwritten philosophy at our gym. If someone leaves, we just don't talk about it. When I say like a coach, if a coach leaves, we just move on, because from the movie Bucket List, the sun goes up, the sun goes down, the wheels on the bus go round and round. And do we just say we don't talk about it? Nobody cares. Work harder. Mm-hmm. And we made that a shirt. And so this year we went all in on the open, and it was the best signups we ever had.
Really?
Best signups we ever had. And there's still people like, oh, we're going to participate but not sign up. That's fine. But yeah, we get it, right? Do you, but we are going to do this.
Been like that for 15 years.
Yeah.
That's nothing new.
We're going to do it. We're going to do this thing. And guess what? They still showed up. Mm-hmm. We didn't make a big deal about the Community Cup, but we participated. We talked about it. We made it a thing.
Yep.
We spread it out Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. It was our best attended week of the entire year.
Wow.
So
how is the vibe been at the gym? How's the member retention? How's all that?
All of it. I mean, we launched a committed club prior into December. So it's all just come together. While quite truly from June to September of last year through summer and churn, I dropped 40 people. So it was like, okay, these are the things I'm going to leverage, the events that CrossFit is giving me. Mm-hmm. So we did the open, went all in, kept that. And then actually on my push press dashboard, you can literally see the engagement.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There's the engagement graph, okay, we're going to roll that into the committed club. Well, guess what? Cap actually announced when the benchmarks are going to be tested in the year.
Really?
It's in .com. It's in your affiliate resources if you go in and look.
That's awesome. I love CAP.
They tell you when they test them first and when they're going to be tested after. So I created an event called Hot Girl Summer. I listed all the events.
Yeah.
Or excuse me, I listed all the benchmarks. And I said, you all don't have to, but pick one and say that's going to be my thing.
Cool.
So now we bridge the gap between the summer, which will then prep us in for the open. And it's just rinse and repeat, right? And so all the tools have been given to me and they work.
That's awesome. I love that. I think leveraging more opportunities that, especially that HQ can provide, is huge. Just making sure that we're providing things that can be leveraged at the most is another thing that is on us. That's right. At HQ for sure. That's awesome.
The answers to the test are in the book. You just have to read it.
It's level 1, guys. It's all there. You got resources there. If you don't know where these are, talk to your local affiliate rep. That is our job, to help guide you on the path to those things. So that is our job.
And on that note, 3, 2, 1, time.